Be prepared, not in the usual sense, not in the way we've been conditioned to expect when a full moon draws near. This one is different, and not just subtly so. Many assumed it would pass like the others, casting light, stirring emotions, maybe pulling a few truths to the surface. But this moon has been quietly building something deeper, something more deliberate, and it's not interested in repeating past patterns. It's not coming to entertain or dazzle with celestial beauty. In fact, it's stepping back into silence, and that silence is not innocent. Silence, in this case, is a kind of power. It's the kind of quiet that carries weight, the kind that stretches time and space just enough to reveal the things that can't be said out loud. The moon is not showing off this weekend. It's hiding in plain sight. And when the moon hides, it means it's working at a level that only the truly aware will notice. This is not a moon meant for everyone to understand. It's aimed at those who cannot be fooled by stillness, those who have already begun to feel something stir inside, without knowing what or why. By now you may have felt it, a restlessness that isn't mental, a heaviness that isn't exactly emotional, a pull that feels almost magnetic. This is your signal. This moon is about to administer a very specific test. Most people won't even recognize it. It will blend in with the noise, with the daily routine, with the passing moods. But if you're paying attention, truly paying attention, you'll know the moment it arrives. And when it does, your response will matter. Your awareness will be your tool, your guide, your compass. I'll explain exactly what that means soon. But first, let's acknowledge that even this test is just a surface ripple. There is something much deeper happening beneath it all, and no one seems to be talking about it yet. This moon is trembling beneath the surface, not just in symbolism, but in energetic structure. It's unbalanced in a way that's rare. That imbalance isn't an accident. It's a reaction to the cosmic collision currently underway. June isn't finished echoing through the energetic field. Its emotional intensity, its upheavals, its rapid transformations, they're still humming beneath the surface. And yet, July is already beginning to pulse, pushing forward with a different frequency, a different direction. These two timelines are clashing. This lunar weekend sits exactly at their crossroads. This tension is not only visible in the skies, but it's also tangible in your body. You might feel emotionally volatile, as though your internal weather keeps shifting without warning. One minute you're inspired, the next you're irritable, then strangely nostalgic, or suddenly empty. People around you may seem more dramatic, more reactive, or oddly detached, like their souls are trying to realign in real time. You may find your physical body reflecting the same imbalance. Dizziness, exhaustion, moments of over-alertness followed by overwhelming fatigue. You may feel wired but sleepy, overstimulated but disinterested, as if your system is being pulled in two directions at once. Even if no one around you notices, even if everything seems fine on the surface, you know better. You can feel the dissonance, the hum of something out of sync, as though you're not quite in the same room as your life anymore. That feeling is valid. That knowing is correct. And this is where most people will look away, too distracted by the surface to sense what's happening beneath. But you aren't meant to ignore this moon. You're meant to receive something from it that could only be delivered in such a quiet, disorienting moment. Here's the truth that changes everything. You're not just tired. You're not just zoning out or procrastinating or crashing after a long month. You're being reprogrammed. Your consciousness is being adjusted in subtle, radical ways. If you felt like you're walking through fog, forgetting what you were saying mid-sentence, losing track of time, or even feeling like someone else is living in your body, you're not malfunctioning. You're being upgraded. The moon is not broadcasting this change loudly. It's doing it in whispers, in flickers, in quiet nudges. It's operating just beneath your conscious awareness, rewriting internal codes that you've outgrown but haven't yet replaced. The strange dreams, the sudden waves of emotion that appear and vanish before you can understand them, they are not random. They are signs of spiritual recalibration. Your system is rebooting in a language your mind doesn't yet speak. That sense of spacing out, of not being quite here, it's a doorway, not a problem. You're being drawn into stillness not because you're broken, but because your soul is ready to receive something new, something that can't be learned through effort, only through surrender. And the most important part? You don't have to do anything special to make this happen. It's already underway. But what you do during this upgrade determines what becomes permanent. The choices you make now, what you lean into, what you resist, what you allow to pass through you, are shaping what locks into place. This isn't just a calming lunar phase. It's a delivery system for a whole new internal structure. A belief system is being updated. A navigation system is being installed. You're being gifted a new sense of direction, one that doesn't need external validation or logical steps. It will live inside you like instinct, like gravity. So if you wake up groggy, if your thoughts feel slippery or your heart feels too soft, don't fight it. Let the codes install. Let the new template take root. Because when this moon cycle completes, you won't just feel different. You'll think differently. You won't be seeking the same things or tolerating the same things. Something fundamental is changing in you. And the beauty of it is, it's already happening. You're not waiting for transformation. You are the transformation. In the next few days, you'll begin to realize that you're no longer the same person you were even 3 days ago. Your thoughts haven't fully caught up, but your energy already knows. Your frequency has shifted, and what used to resonate may now feel foreign. That's not a loss. It's clarity. That's not detachment. It's realignment. Not because something bad happened, but because your truth finally has space to rise to the surface. And with that comes a vulnerability. This weekend, your energy field won't feel like a closed boundary. It will feel like an open threshold. You'll be more sensitive than usual. Not weak, just more aware. Your soul will be listening at full volume. That means everything around you will sound louder, hit harder, stay longer. Words may linger. Interactions may leave an imprint. Even environments might feel overwhelming, like your body is absorbing more data than usual. Before we move ahead in the video, I want to let you know that if you've gained even a little value from my efforts, please consider donating through Super Thanks or via PayPal. It really helps motivate and inspire us to keep going. If you're someone who already walks with a heightened sense of awareness, this may feel like you're walking through life without armor. It might feel like every moment leaves a mark. But that sensitivity is not a flaw. It's intelligence. It's feedback from your soul. It's the evidence that you are wide open. And in that openness, everything becomes information. You are picking up on vibrations that others dismiss. You are feeling what others ignore. And the moon sees that. It's speaking to you in that language. This moon strips away the filters. It reveals the raw truth beneath polished surfaces. And in doing so, it invites your truest self to stand in the light. That may feel like exposure, like standing on a stage before you were ready. But trust this, you are ready. You were born to feel deeply, to sense what others miss, to stand wide open in a world that tries to close itself off. That's not your burden, it's your gift. Let this weekend be a sacred passage, not just a blur of emotional noise. Let it rewire you, not rush you. Let it stretch you, not scatter you. You don't have to decode every emotion, label every experience, or solve every mystery right now. You simply have to be present with what's moving through you. Because what's rising is not just a new perspective, it's a new version of you. Truer, lighter, freer. And when this moon fades, when the energy settles and your thoughts catch up to the change that's already happened, you'll understand why this silence was never empty. It was sacred. It was sacred because it wasn't trying to show you what to think. It was showing you how to feel again. It's not just another quiet weekend. It's a deeply energetic one. And it's unfolding in ways that the surface world won't acknowledge. You've been placed under a kind of spiritual spotlight, and though that might sound intense, it's not because you're in danger. This isn't a warning, it's an invitation. The energy that surrounds you right now isn't here to test your strength or break your peace. It's here to see something more subtle, something more essential. It wants to know what you'll do with this exposure. Not the kind that calls for reaction or defense, but the kind that reveals how you carry yourself when no one's watching, when nothing external validates your presence, your pace, your purpose. You're not under attack. You're being observed by the invisible currents of the spiritual realm, and not for judgment, but for reflection. What they're watching isn't your performance, it's your presence, your way of being when no one applauds, when silence stretches long and still, when solitude surrounds you like sacred cloth. And right now, solitude holds a weight and a resonance that most won't understand unless they let themselves be wrapped in it completely. That quietness that lingers in the air. That's not emptiness. That's spirit listening. That's your soul recentering, uncoiling from the overstimulation of the external world. This weekend isn't about action. It's about energy. And more importantly, how you hold that energy when nothing is pressing on it, when no one is asking anything of you, when time itself begins to feel like it's slipping its grip on the ordinary flow, because that's what's coming. Something in the air is bending. The clock won't shatter, but it will lose its rhythm. A kind of temporal disorientation is already beginning to form, and by Saturday night, it'll become harder to ignore. You'll look at your phone. Midnight. You'll check the clock again. Midnight still. But your body will hum with a different rhythm entirely. Some will feel like they're stretched between hours, as if time is expanding, then suddenly collapsing in on itself. You might find yourself convinced that an hour has passed, only to see that just a few minutes have slipped by. Or maybe the opposite. You'll blink, and somehow whole portions of the night will have disappeared. It's not sleep deprivation. It's not anxiety. It's not even spiritual overload in the usual sense. What you're experiencing is the moon shifting your perception of time from linear to layered. The point isn't confusion, it's release. This energy wants you to drop the constraints of ticking seconds and hourly obligations so something older and quieter can take root inside of you. It's a kind of spiritual dampening field, not in the sense of muting your essence, but softening the noise so the true sound of your inner life can emerge. You don't have to understand it in the moment. In fact, trying to understand it might only make it harder to feel. Let the distortion be there. Let the strangeness of the night unfold around you without the need to define or diagnose it. Your body might feel out of sync, awake, but not energized, tired, but incapable of sleep. Your mind may drift through strange echoes, emotional imprints from the past, reverberations of possible futures. You might be in bed, but hovering just above sleep, not fully dreaming, but not fully awake. It's like your energy body has been pulled into another layer of reality while your physical form tries to catch up, and there's nothing to fix. No technique will anchor you in this, because you're not supposed to be anchored. You're supposed to float for a little while, weightless, unmeasured, timeless. This kind of spiritual loosening doesn't happen often. When it does, it's because something deeper than your conscious self needs space to surface. These altered states of time are invitations to connect with truths that aren't bound by language, logic, or chronology. This is spirit stepping in, quieting the external clocks, and letting your soul find its own rhythm again. So if it feels strange, good. If it feels disorienting, better. If it makes you crave silence and resist stimulation, that's the sign you're attuning. Your internal metronome is no longer synced to a worldly pace. It's syncing to something eternal, something older than your schedule. Let it. Stay with the weirdness. Don't rush through it or demand answers from it. Let it stretch you. Let it soften you, because something is trying to catch up with you, not to chase you, but to meet you in a space you didn't know you were entering. And the moon, she's not broadcasting this in words. She never does. She's looking through you, whispering through stillness. And if you've been paying attention, you've already started to feel her pressure. Not on the skin, but behind the eyes. A faint tension in your brow. A subtle flicker in the corner of your vision. A strange pull behind one eye more than the other. It's not strain, it's lunar alignment. The moon is syncing with your internal perception systems, tuning your energetic vision so it can perceive what the mind can't yet grasp. Your dominant eye may begin to feel different, more alert, more engaged, more sensitive to light and motion. You might find yourself blinking more, or feeling like your sight is adjusting to something you can't quite name. It's not your vision malfunctioning. It's your aura stretching into sensory awareness. You're beginning to perceive the things that live between the lines, the flickers in people's emotions, the micro shifts in energy, the way the air changes before a truth is spoken, the undercurrent in a silence, the way someone's presence says more than their words ever could. This isn't about seeing more clearly in a literal sense. It's about feeling with the eyes, sensing with your body, understanding without explanation. You might catch yourself staring at a face, a flame, the sky, and not know why. It's not confusion, it's attunement. Your energy is adjusting to receive more subtle frequencies, and those frequencies aren't always literal or visual. Sometimes they come through as a knowing in the body, a tension in the atmosphere, a soft hum just behind what's being said. This kind of shift requires stillness, and not the performative kind. Not sitting in silence while your mind races. This is sacred stillness, the kind where your spirit becomes more receptive because you're not constantly translating experience into language or expectation. When no one is affirming you, guiding you, validating you, how do you hold your own frequency? That's the real transformation. You are not being asked to push forward this weekend. You're being asked to pause, to slow, to stretch, to allow. The moon isn't interrupting your life. She's inviting you to slip through it, just for a little while, so you can meet the parts of yourself that don't speak the same language as time. Don't resist the silence. Don't fill the void. Let the empty spaces be holy. Let the weirdness be sacred. Let yourself lose track of time so your spirit can find something far more timeless, because that's what this is really about. That's what this moon is whispering through your bones. Not warnings, not forecasts, but remembrance. A gentle reminder that your energy was never meant to be ruled by the clock. Your truth never meant to be confined to calendars. Your transformation never meant to fit neatly between sunrises and to-do lists. There's something ancient surfacing now, and the only way to feel it is to stop trying to control what you're feeling. Let it move through you. Let it open your inner sight. And most importantly, let yourself be watched, not by the world, but by the spirit realms that see the truth of who you are when everything else is silent. What you're feeling isn't random. It's not just some weird vibe or off moment that has no meaning. That uneasy sensation when you walk into a room and suddenly feel overwhelmed, drained, or unsettled for no apparent reason, there's more to it than what the eyes can see. This isn't just coincidence. This is reception. You're not imagining things. You're receiving signals, intuitive, energetic frequencies that the body is just now starting to process on a more refined level. This time, it's the moon acting as a funnel, channeling subtle and unseen vibrations through the very gate of your physical senses, especially your eyes. Right now, most people are filtering these energetic shifts through one main channel, the dominant eye. One eye is built for seeing the world, for collecting light and color and surface reality. The other? It's for decoding what lies beneath the obvious. So if your eyes have been feeling dry, strained, heavy, or even slightly sore, this goes beyond simple screen fatigue or too much light. This is energetic alignment fatigue. Your physical vision is being affected by your spiritual attunement. Your body is syncing up to a wavelength that doesn't speak in language. It speaks in impressions, in gut instincts, in inner reactions before thoughts even form. This is not the time to overcorrect or try to force yourself to stay focused in a way that feels unnatural. Let the edges of the world blur. Let your eyes rest even while they remain open. You're not losing your ability to see. You're evolving how you perceive. You're shifting into a deeper kind of clarity, one that recognizes truth not by how it looks, but by how it feels. The universe doesn't wait until you feel ready to test you. It checks in when you've become real. And right now, the moon is conducting one of those check-ins. This weekend won't just feel strange, it will feel orchestrated. And that's because it is. Every delay, every inconvenience, every odd behavior you witness in yourself or others is part of an energetic calibration. The short tempers, the miscommunications, the emotional outbursts from people who usually hold it together. These are not signs of collapse, but signs of cleansing. You're not witnessing chaos. You're experiencing fine-tuning. The moon is testing how your field holds under pressure. Subtle, psychic weight that doesn't always announce itself clearly, but makes itself known in the way you start to respond to your surroundings. You might notice little things beginning to fall apart or go sideways, all at once. A conversation with someone close might turn confusing or strained. Your devices might glitch for no reason. You might wake from a dream that leaves you more exhausted than if you'd stayed awake the whole night. Or maybe you'll be hit by a heavy emotion, sadness, anger, fear, that doesn't even feel like yours, and yet it moves through your body like a storm you've always known. This isn't failure. This isn't spiritual regression. You are not blocked. You are not broken. You are being filtered. What the moon is doing now is not visible, but it is powerful. It's cleansing the layers of your energetic field that don't show up in the mirror. Think of it like wiping the dust off a lens. You don't realize how cloudy your perception was until you can suddenly see with more depth, more contrast, more detail. It's not a flashy transformation. It's not instant or glamorous, but it's necessary. Because after this clearing, your perception won't just be restored, it will be elevated. And this is the part where most people unconsciously step away. They get tired, mentally check out, scroll through distractions, drown their discomfort in noise or entertainment. They shut down, thinking they're just tired or emotionally burnt out. But you're not most people. You've felt this coming. You've sensed the buildup in the days leading to this. Now that it's arrived, don't retreat. Stay with it. The moon's silence right now isn't emptiness. It's density. It's the energetic equivalent of pressure in a deep part of the ocean. This stillness you feel isn't nothingness. It's testing. Every trigger that shows up this weekend isn't here to punish you. It's here to offer you a mirror. It's asking, are you still choosing peace, even when everything around you tries to pull you out of it? You don't evolve by escaping discomfort. You evolve by showing up to it with a new kind of presence. When someone tests your boundaries or your patience, watch what stirs in you. When a wave of emotion hits you out of nowhere, let it pass through without letting it root inside. And when that emotional undertow tries to pull you down, remember, this is the moon watching how you resurface. And here's the truth most people won't see. If you make it through this weekend with your alignment intact, with your inner space preserved, you're going to notice something shift next week. A new doorway will reveal itself. You'll receive clarity without even asking for it. Confirmation will show up, unprompted. That's because when your soul levels up, your sensory system follows. Your environment, your guidance, your perception, they all upgrade in sync with your frequency. Don't be surprised if you start noticing this sensory shift, not just through your eyes, but through your ears. You may start to hear differently, not in the medical sense, but in the energetic one. Sounds you once loved might suddenly feel irritating or strangely distorted. A song that used to soothe you might suddenly scrape your nerves. Someone's voice, even if their words are kind, might feel off, like something behind their tone doesn't sit right. Simultaneously, you might find yourself drawn to unusual soundscapes. Things like the soft hum of a fan, the distant rumble of thunder, the complete hush of silence. And that silence, it won't feel empty. It will feel alive, as if it's whispering something you can't yet translate, but instinctively understand. That's because the moon is twisting and retuning your spiritual filters, particularly around sound. It's not just that you're hearing more, it's that you're decoding differently. Your energy body is picking up subtle vibrational layers you couldn't previously feel. These frequencies are now revealing deeper textures, and they're doing so without your conscious permission. Because you're ready. Some of these textures will feel like gentle healing you didn't even know you needed. Others might feel sharp, like tiny splinters made of noise or emotional static. But all of it is part of your recalibration. You may start noticing that rooms feel louder even when they're quiet, or that certain environments feel overwhelming even though nothing obvious is happening. This isn't oversensitivity. This is spiritual tuning. Just like a radio must slightly adjust its dial to lock onto a new frequency, you're adjusting now, fine-tuning your perception to align with the new frequencies that are becoming accessible to your soul. Nighttime, especially, will feel different. As the moon's distortion peaks, your sensitivity to sound will amplify. Whispers will carry more meaning. Background noises will feel close, even when they're far away. Even something like white noise may feel charged, full of texture and shape, like a message in the static. This isn't something to fight or correct. This is something to observe, to feel into. This is spiritual expansion expressing itself through your physical body. There are moments when spirit calls, not through booming voices or prophetic dreams, but through subtler, more intimate pathways. Sometimes the divine doesn't speak in words at all. Instead, it sharpens your senses, heightening your awareness so that you begin to hear what others overlook. It speaks through sensation, through tone, through the emotional energy riding on the backs of everyday sounds. It isn't always about what is being said, but rather how your body responds when it is. That quiet tightening in your chest, the soft clench in your gut, the tingle on the back of your neck. Those are all ways your spirit whispers, listen deeper. Right now, the moon is playing a quiet but powerful role in helping you tune into these subtle messages. It's refining your inner instrument, especially your intuition. It's making you more attuned not to the surface noise of life, but to the soul tones underneath, the ones the ears can't decode, but the heart knows without question. If you've been feeling disoriented, confused, or like time has started to unravel at the seams, it's not a sign that something's gone wrong. You're not off track. You're not behind. What you're experiencing is a recalibration, a sacred shift, and the moon is guiding it. As the weekend unfolds, don't be surprised if time starts acting strange. You may wake up on Sunday morning and feel like Saturday never ended. Or perhaps the day begins and you swear the morning vanished without a trace, like it skipped right over you. Moments might feel warped, like you're standing in a different layer of reality than everyone else. Someone could tell you the day or the time, and somehow it just won't land in your body like it used to. It's not exhaustion. It's not Mercury retrograde. It's something more intentional. A soft, deliberate distortion of time. The kind that only the moon can initiate. One that tugs gently at the edge of your perception, shifting your relationship with reality so your spirit can begin to move in new ways. This moon isn't bursting with headlines. It's not the kind of event that astrologers are shouting about from the rooftops. But that's exactly what makes it so important. Its power lies in its stillness, its stealth. It doesn't need to be dramatic to be transformative. Like a hand brushing across fabric to reveal a hidden seam, it's barely noticeable at first. But once you tune in, you realize it's been altering the way you feel time itself. That blur you're feeling in the days, that sense of unreality, is not a mistake. It's the moon syncing with your consciousness, not your calendar. And that, in itself, is an invitation to step out of the loops you've been stuck in. The patterns where you've been measuring your healing, your growth, your worth by timelines and deadlines. You've spent months judging your progress based on what day it is, what you've achieved, what you've crossed off your list. But the moon doesn't use clocks. It doesn't care about your productivity or your checkboxes. It honors energy. It measures movement by alignment. And right now, the moon is gently unhooking you from the rigid structure of time so that your spirit can find its rhythm again. A rhythm that doesn't follow the tick of a second hand, but flows more like breath, like tide, like heartbeats. This weekend isn't about achieving anything. It's about loosening your grip. You're not being confused. You're being freed. When you stop trying to define your experience by what the day is or what's supposed to happen on a Saturday night, that's when the real insight comes through. That's when you begin to notice that time is just one version of reality. A useful one, yes, but not the only one. not the most sacred one. You may feel little jumps in time, like déjà vu, like flashes of "didn't that already happen?" You might feel like entire hours never existed, or that you've lived several lifetimes in the space of a single morning. Don't resist it. Don't try to snap yourself back to normal. These experiences are not glitches. They are sacred pauses. They are doors opening to show you how much more there is than what you've been conditioned to see. You're being shown that there is a reality outside of your calendar, one where your spirit is allowed to stretch, to breathe, to choose again. This moon isn't an event in the traditional sense. It's a preparation. The silence isn't emptiness, it's fullness waiting to unfold. It's the still moment before the wind changes, the inhale before the plunge. And what's coming in July will demand more of you than just presence. It will ask for your truth. It will call on your capacity to move with clarity, with courage. But you can't meet that kind of movement while you're still carrying the clutter of unprocessed timelines and outdated expectations. Right now, you're in a kind of sacred rehearsal. The disorientation, the sensory shifts, the heightened emotional states, they're all part of this preparation. Think of it like a ritual bath before a sacred rite. On the outside, it might look like stillness. It might even feel like nothing's happening. But within, something ancient and important is being realigned. Your nervous system is unwinding. Your spirit is shedding. You are being cleared, not because something is wrong, but because something important is about to begin. July is going to be different. It's not going to wait for you to be ready. It will arrive like a wave, whether you're standing in its path or not. And that's why this moon, right now, is so vital. It's softening you. It's unbinding the tightly held beliefs and habits you didn't even know were still wrapped around your energy. It's making space in you, space that you'll need when the intensity returns. The truth is, this moon is sacred precisely because it's quiet. The most ancient wisdoms are passed down in whispers, not shouts. The ones who truly understand how energy works know that real preparation happens in stillness. So if you feel like you're being stripped of invisible things, you are. If you sense yourself becoming more sensitive, more open, more uncertain, that's not weakness, that's wisdom. There is no aftermath here. There's only a prelude. This moment is not the end of a chapter. It's the tuning of the instrument before the song begins. You've been given a small window of grace, a breath in the cosmos. Use it well. Don't rush it. Don't try to fix or force it. Just listen. Breathe. Pay attention to what's rising within you when everything else slows down. You may not know exactly what's coming, but your spirit does. It's already preparing. And deep down, you've known for a while now that this wasn't just another moon. It may not be loud. It may not come with cosmic fanfare. But its silence, that's where the power is. That's where the invitation lies. To slow down, to shed, to remember who you are beneath the timelines and to choose, with clarity and grace, how you wish to meet what's arriving next. In time, everyone will come to understand what this moon is truly doing. It may appear quiet on the surface, almost indifferent, but don't be fooled. This moon is deeply aware. It's not here to interfere with your path, and it won't reach down and rearrange your reality. That's not how its energy operates. Instead, it holds up a subtle, silent mirror and watches what you prioritize. It takes note of what you give energy to, what you emphasize, what you choose to amplify in your inner and outer world. And whatever you bring to it, be it fear, joy, anxiety, discipline, presence, it will gently magnify not as a punishment, but as a way of showing you just how much power your focus actually holds. If you're caught in a loop of fear, if your thoughts begin to spiral or your emotions start to scatter, the moon won't interrupt you. It will simply echo those patterns back, sometimes louder, sometimes heavier, sometimes more pronounced. It's like stepping into a chamber where your own energy becomes the sound, and everything you try to ignore becomes the rhythm of your surroundings. But that same chamber also amplifies peace. If you breathe, if you pause, if you anchor yourself into this very moment and resist the urge to drift away into distraction, something remarkable begins to happen. You'll begin to sense a deeper movement beneath the noise. Not a spectacle, not fireworks, but a subtle recalibration. A tuning of your own frequency, a shift so quiet that it can only be heard with your inner ear. The moon is not here to change you. That part of the journey is already in motion. Instead, it reveals the truth of what you've become. This is a spiritual stress test, not in the sense of being tested for worthiness, but in the way a musical instrument is tested for resonance. It's like being placed in a silent room where the only sound is your own energy. And in that stillness, everything you've been pushing aside starts to stir. Everything you've buried begins to knock. But equally, all the things you've been nurturing, your wisdom, your quiet growth, your inner strength, begin to rise gently from within you, like steam rising from still water on a cool morning. This is where you glimpse the core of yourself, the part of you that exists beyond effort, beyond striving, beyond explanation. It isn't about trying harder or pushing through. It's about being willing to remain aware, even when there's nothing around you demanding your attention. That is the invitation this moon brings. To stay conscious in the silence. To remain awake when nothing external is pulling at you. Because what's coming in July will be full of noise, sudden movements, shifts that arrive without warning, a season of unpredictable change. And if you haven't learned how to hold yourself steady in the stillness, you might find yourself shaken when the winds begin to move again. But right now, you have a sacred moment. This stillness is your final rehearsal, and you are being observed, not in a judgmental way, but with deep love and curiosity. Your guides are watching, your ancestors are watching, even the future version of yourself, the one you haven't yet stepped into, is watching. They are not waiting for you to perform or achieve anything. They are simply watching to see if you remember who you truly are when everything else falls away. When there are no signs in the sky, no planetary alignments to interpret, and nothing external to cling to for meaning, can you still trust the quiet voice inside you? Don't move through this energy half asleep. Don't dismiss it just because it isn't loud. The most profound initiations are often the ones that happen in silence, in spaces that the world doesn't recognize as sacred. Just because there isn't a name for this in your astrology feed doesn't mean it isn't real. Just because you can't map it onto a chart doesn't mean it isn't unfolding. Something significant is occurring, and if you don't take the time to notice, you might miss the upgrade your soul has been preparing for. Even worse, you could walk into July unanchored, uncentered, and completely unprepared for the velocity of change that's on its way. But if you choose to stay present, if you make the conscious decision to show up, quietly but fully, you'll begin to understand the immense power this moon holds. And that power doesn't come from dramatic sky events. It comes from the way this moon touches the inner terrain of your being. It stirs what's been dormant. It calls forth what's been waiting. It's not concerned with spectacle. It's concerned with awakening. This moon is a mirror, and right now it's polished and clear, reflecting your essence back to you in a way that few celestial moments ever do. Take this opportunity to really look into it. Observe yourself, not just who you appear to be on the surface, but who you've become at the core. Who you are when there's no noise, no drama, no distractions. Who you are when the universe gives you nothing but stillness and asks if you'll stay awake within it. Thank you for taking the time to receive this message. If it resonated with you, if it made you feel seen, or helped you better understand what's unfolding around and within you, I invite you to stay connected. Consider subscribing if you'd like to journey deeper into this kind of spiritual insight. Your presence here is appreciated more than you know. And if you feel called, I'd love to hear how you're experiencing this moon. Feel free to share your thoughts or stories in the comments below. Until next time, take care of your energy, honor the quiet, and trust the reflection. What you're seeing isn't just a moon. It's a glimpse of the you that's already arrived, just waiting to be fully recognized.